So, I could tell you firsthand because I come from that background. I come from emotional trauma. So, I come from a broken family. My mother left at the age of 12, so we went through a lot of different things. So, but this is what I would say. I would say that I wouldn't wish any emotional trauma on anybody, right? So ideally, it's best to not have it, but just because you have emotional trauma doesn't necessarily mean, it's not necessarily going to translate into you being a better entrepreneur. And the reason I say this is, the one thing that that it's very popular these days is the word resilience, right? So they'll say trauma leads to resilience. Well, resilience just means bouncing back. Now, if you bounce back to a state that's already flawed, that's not really that beneficial for you, right? So you don't want to just bounce back strong. No, you don't want to just be guarded. You want to use those skills and translate them into a healthy entrepreneur. So as I'm writing my book, I'm doing research on Abraham Lincoln, and he had a tumultuous childhood as well. I mean, his mother died early. His sons died. And so for him, the reason why I think he was so anti-slavery was because he was compassionate towards people suffering. They said that majority of his life he spent in a state of melancholy. He was depressed for most of his life. So he had a special appreciation for somebody who's suffering. So I would say, yes, you can use it, but it's not necessary. And there's two things that can happen. If you take two people with the same type of trauma, one person might grow from that and become strong and say, listen, I'm not going to stay stuck in this. I'm going to use this as motivation to get better and move forward. But the other person might remain bitter and guarded and have a different trajectory for the life. Now, what I would say is what makes the difference between both of these folks and their outcomes is who they surround themselves with. I would say the mentors and the support system that they have makes the biggest difference if they're humble enough to allow that.